On this episode of China Uncensored, Beijing's most dangerous pastime, breathing. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. Who says Beijing is polluted? Just look at this beautiful clear sky. Okay, so maybe Beijing looks a little more like Blade Runner. Actually, if you take Taiwan's new security forces and put them in Beijing, I think you might have a blockbuster on your hands. Hey Hollywood, you might want to see if you can get co-production status on that one. Never mind. Beijing's air is so polluted.
How polluted is it?
It's so polluted that on the EPA's air pollution index, where levels over 100 are unhealthy and the maximum level of 500 is hazardous, Beijing scored 755 earlier in the year. And Beijing's PM 2.5 rating, that's tiny particulate matter that can get into your lungs and kill you, which also has a scale that stops at 500, was 886 in January. Now that's a lot of numbers, so let's bring it back to reality. This is what API 755 and PM 2.5 886 looks like. Let's drive it in a bit more. The website Marketplace made a smog simulator so you can know what your city can look like in Beijing smog. Here's San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York. And remember, that scale is only going to 500 because, that's supposed to be the insane threshold you can't go past. I can only imagine what it must have been like in the northern city of Harbin last month when PM 2.5 hit 1,000. Now, deadly toxic smog, it sounds so, accurate, but isn't it a little depressing? That's why, to cheer up everyone, Chinese authorities just call it heavy fog. So when people look outside their windows and see nothing, it's just because of heavy fog. But now I know you Wu Maos out there always like to criticize me for not saying anything positive about the Chinese government, so I gotta give credit where credit is due. The Chinese regime is getting serious about pollution. Because it shuts down businesses and schools? Because over 8,000 people in the north died from it last year? Because an 8-year-old girl has just been diagnosed with lung cancer? No, it's because they're saying the heavy fog is so thick it's getting really hard to spy on people. The regime has installed over 20 million surveillance cameras and they can't see a thing. How are they supposed to monitor people like this? That's why the party is sparing no expense. They've hired 2 teams of scientists to figure out how to make the cameras see through the smog. Oh, you were expecting them to solve the pollution problem? That's so cute. Though there is a silver lining to this dark, toxic cloud that you can see from outer space. It does have some advantages. If there's another large-scale protest in Tiananmen, no one will know. They already censored the airwaves, why not the air itself? But there is an even greater benefit to all this smog. It's driving away the Japanese. The Japanese embassy in Beijing is telling their people to get out, go on holiday, move to a different city, just whatever they need to do to get away from the bad air. So then you might be thinking, why don't Chinese people just move out of Beijing as well? Well, China has this little thing called the hukou, the household registration system. Now, you're free to move anywhere you want in the country, but if you don't get a new hukou for the new city, which ranges from a difficult bureaucratic nightmare to an impossible bureaucratic nightmare, you're just a migrant worker with no access to healthcare, social services, or education for your little children whose lungs are turning so black. But hey, at least this is one time when officials have to suffer with everyone else, right? No. They have some of the best air purifiers in the world installed in their homes and offices. They are chauffeured around in private cars. They don't need to tint the windows because people can't see into the car through the air anyway, have access to the best healthcare in the country, and their food comes from well-guarded organic military farms. This is why they don't allow guns in China. Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.